I cut off contact with my closest childhood friend, Mary, 21F, a few weeks ago. Although I'm glad she's gone from my life, most of my family and mutual friends believe I overreacted, and now I'm beginning to second-guess my choice. I'll give some rather irrelevant background information here. Mary and I practically grew up as sisters. She was jealous of my fiancé and lied to my family, saying he was cheating, and now she's sending him videos after her boyfriend broke up with her. Before we could even walk from kindergarten to secondary school, our parents and neighbors started setting up playdates for us. We did everything together, and if I wasn't at her house, she was at mine. I had complete faith in her and never considered her anything apart from my best friend. Things changed when Mary moved away for university, and at first I missed her, but eventually I realized how much easier my life felt without her constant presence. I wasn't being scolded, guilt-tripped, or made to defend my decisions any longer. You could call me a pushover, but when you grow up with someone like that, it's difficult to see the manipulation for what it is. It came to a head when I met my now-fiancé, Dave, 27. He's incredible, kind, supportive, and everything I've ever wanted in a partner. We clicked right away, and he's honestly the best thing that's ever happened to me. Mary had a way of controlling every part of my life. She would dismiss my hobbies and pressure me to give them up, and if she didn't like one of my friends, I would have to sever ties. I was overjoyed and couldn't wait to tell everyone about it, but Mary didn't approve of me right away. She tried to sow doubts right away, saying that he was too old, that he would cheat, or that he was just using me. Fortunately, I didn't listen to her, and I'm overjoyed I didn't. In December, Dave surprised me with a dream vacation, and during the trip, he proposed. Everything about it was perfect. He planned every little detail, and it was more magical than I could have ever imagined. Instead, she minimized everything and criticized the proposal, pointing out how she would have done it differently and what could have been better. It hurt, but I ignored it and told her that it was my proposal, not hers. A few weeks later, when we finally met in person for the first time in months, everything fell apart when Mary abruptly told me that I should end my relationship with Dave. When I questioned why, she said that Dave was more attractive than her boyfriend, Julian, 22. It was obvious that she wasn't worried about me. She was just jealous that my life seemed better than hers for once. That was the tipping point for me, and I told her to leave my house. I then sent her a lengthy message expressing how hurt and disappointed I was, telling her that her behavior was unacceptable and that I didn't want her to get in touch with me again. Since then, it feels like she's told everyone in our social circle that I'm not interested in dating. Mary has been a significant part of my life for as long as I can remember, and friends and even some family members have reached out to me to say that I was too harsh and that I should have handled things differently. They said that's just the way she is. You've known her your entire life, and she's always been in the spotlight and gotten what she wants. Some have even accused me of breaking her heart and told me that it was wrong to choose my fiancé over a lifelong friend. My mom even said that she expected better of me, which is why I'm questioning whether I overreacted, even though she has flaws. We have shared many happy memories and times. Am I wasting years of friendship over this, or was it the right decision to cut her off? Some people in the comments are saying that this story is fake, but it isn't. I can't prove it to you, of course, but really, what would be the point of making it up and posting it on Reddit? I've never used Reddit before, and I have no idea what karma is or why anyone would want it explained. Last but not least, my parents raised Mary like a second daughter, and she's always incredibly kind in front of them, so I guess that's why they didn't believe me. Mary told my friends and family because most of the messages I received were pretty vague, and I didn't ask my mom what Mary said because I was too upset to have a calm conversation after my mom told me I was being dramatic, which led me to yell at her. All I know is that Mary admitted to asking me to break up with my fiancé, but I'm not sure if she explained. They're simply in denial because it's easier for them to deal with it. I don't know, but I understand that hearing negative things about someone you like for the first time can make you want to ignore it. Update 1. January 13th, 2025. We went to see my parents today at noon and discussed everything, trying to figure out what had happened exactly. It turns out that Mary was telling a made-up story with a few facts thrown in. She told people, or at least my parents, that Dave was cheating on me with a coworker, which is why she asked me to end our relationship. She claimed to have been having an affair with him for at least 4 months, and she knew about it because she had seen them together at a cafe in a different city a few months prior. If this were the case, why didn't she tell me or my parents sooner? For example, if your best friend from that time told you that her boyfriend was cheating on her, wouldn't you tell her right away? This is also why I find it incomprehensible that my parents, especially my mom, would have believed her in the first place based on her story. Dad asked her to leave and hasn't spoken to her since. As you should know from my original post, part of it is true. She asked me to end my relationship with my fiancé and I did the same, cutting off contact. However, the entire story about Dave cheating on me is something I learned about for the first time today, and it's entirely made up. Just to remind you, She asked me to end our relationship because Dave is a better boyfriend than Julian, her boyfriend. I feel bad for him, and I can't imagine how much pressure she must put on him, since I couldn't have known if Mary wasn't. Telling the truth, my mom said she didn't think Dave was cheating on me, but was disappointed in me for how I handled the situation. She felt that cutting off my best friend for being worried about me was too harsh, and that we should have talked it out. I also assumed that she was afraid of losing longtime friends when I cut off contact with Mary, which also turned out to be true. Mary told her mother what happened, and she also told her mother, who just so happened to be my mom's best friend. According to my dad, Mary's mother is upset with me for mistreating her daughter and blamed my mother for not raising me properly, so there's that too. After my mom told her what Mary had told her, I told her what happened. The jealousy, the manipulation, the lies, everything I had said in my first post plus a lot more. At first, she didn't believe me, saying that I was exaggerating things and that Mary had good intentions, but just didn't know how to express them effectively. My dad believed me right away, but my mom kept bringing up how wonderful Mary was and how she only wanted the best for me. I showed her some text messages between Mary and me and told her about past incidents. My fiancé tried to support me as best he could because my mom wasn't listening at all and kept defending Mary. To say that I dug deep and told my parents about all sorts of things is an understatement. I even went as far as telling them about a very personal incident. I've let her do whatever she wanted for far too long, but at some point, my dad just told her to stop and not make excuses for Mary, so at least I have one parent on my side. He's always been a very non-confrontational person and never really stood his ground, especially when it came to my mom, but I found out that what Dash said about me saying that I've never had a problem with Mary in the past is untrue, and that I'm now creating needless drama because of a misunderstanding. This whole situation could have been avoided if my mom had put her friendship with Mary's mother aside for her own family. In the end, my mom said that she would speak to Mary and ask her if what I'd said was true, which irritated me after everything I'd told her. He also reportedly told my mom that he wanted to limit the contact between Mary and me when we were younger, but my mom didn't see his point and allowed our friendship to continue. It's unfair to just hear my side of the story, but you already had a heartfelt conversation with Mary in which she was not being truthful. After she said all of that, we started a shouting match. I know it's not healthy, but it felt so incredibly relieving to just let it all out. To say that I cried heavily out of frustration after talking to my mom is an understatement. She still wants to go back to Mary because what her actual daughter says isn't good enough. In any case, I'm glad my fiancé was with me because I definitely wouldn't have been able to drive home safely. On the plus side, we got ice cream and watched my favorite show when we got home, which improved things. I haven't told my mom that I'm thinking of not inviting her to my wedding because we're not planning to get married until next year anyway. So she has time to decide who she wants to believe, and I would rather not cause too much friction between us. From Mary's perspective, I have chosen not to reply to them. I am unsure if Mary told them the same story she told my parents, but I don't care. I don't want to see Mary again, at least not anytime soon, and mutual friends would make that much more difficult than it needs to be. In addition, Dave is also cool with me not pursuing them to clear his name. If this whole situation should leave this friend group and become public, I will get in touch with them. But for now, I don't see the point in dealing with Mary's supporters, which someone referred to as these friends in the comments section of my original post. I'm hoping that Mary will somehow mix up her story so that my mom will see her for who she truly is, as she has been acting completely unfair toward me and essentially chooses Mary over me in this situation. I believe that I can look past this. Because it's my mom, after all, and losing friends is one thing, but losing close family is another, and I'll attempt to patch things up. I've read all of your encouraging and helpful comments, but they kept coming in so quickly that I wasn't sure how to respond to most of them. For those of you who experienced something similar, I'm so sorry that this happened to you, and I'm so happy that, in terms of the comments, you were all able to find peace in your decision to cut toxic friends out of your lives. I'm not sure what I'm going to do if she's going to remain loyal to Mary, but that's not something I have to think about right now. We had dinner with my dad last night, but I'm not sure if he was telling the whole truth. I do believe him, but he may have exaggerated or left things out. He may not have been entirely honest, but I don't think so. However, most of the things he told me yesterday I've heard about for the first time, and they make him seem incredibly innocent. Maybe he wasn't being truthful. My mom had always been worried about what other people thought of her, but when she met Mary's mother, it went to a whole new level. Mary's mother constantly criticized my mom for everything, her parenting style, her clothes, her house, anything, and whenever there was anything that my mom could change, she did so right, a way to please Mary's mother. This is also why I was placed in dance classes when I was younger, because Mary's mother signed Mary up. I'm not a psychologist, but I do know that Mary's family does a very good job of looking like a happy family, with nice jobs, a nice house, etc. I suppose my mom bought their persona and tried to copy it. I won't speak poorly of the entire family here, but let's just say that they have just as many flaws as any other family. In addition, Mary's mom was talking about me. Mary's participation in dance classes is just one of many examples. My dad compares me to Mary in almost every way, and she has even expressed on several occasions that she wishes Mary were her biological daughter. She also feels that I denied her the opportunity to live her ideal life. Fun fact, my mom is reportedly very family-oriented and always wanted to have at least 4 children. It's ironic that I know she had a rather traumatic birth experience with me, and doctors advised her not to try for children again. It appears that she is blaming me for that, and she then hoped that I would allow her to fulfill her dream. I have many kids, and I've mentioned it in the comments a few times already, so whatever. I can't get pregnant, so whatever. Fortunately, she won't have any grandchildren from me. I suppose she stays close to Mary and Mary's mother because she wants to be a grandmother to Mary's potential children, which is unsettling and inappropriate in my opinion. However, since we're talking about my mom here, I also feel the need to clarify that I was unaware of any of that, as my mom has never said anything unfavorable about me. My face, yes, there were occasional comparisons, but nothing significant or that affected me. It's always been the same general stuff parents do, like comparing grades, behavior, skills, etc. She hasn't blamed me directly for her infertility or said anything negative about me not being able to conceive. This is all just stuff she reportedly said behind my back. She's always been pretty okay to me. She wasn't the best mother ever, but she wasn't terrible either. A person who, in my opinion, shouldn't have had a child in the first place. As for why he never confronted my mom, he honestly didn't have a reason for it. He knew that my mom had never said anything like the above to my face, so he doubted that he should tell me, at least not until I moved out. My dad also acknowledged that he had thought about divorcing her a few times, but never followed through because he was afraid that she would receive primary custody. He is currently considering it again, so we'll see how that goes. My mom kept telling her to stop these kinds of conversations, which led to many arguments between them. I knew that their marriage was broken, but I always assumed there were other reasons. My mom also complained to my mother-in-law about Dave, saying that he had changed me, and that I had cut off Mary and chosen my fiancé over my best friend Mill, who is an absolute angel. By the way, I asked her why she was talking to her about this since Dave and I are adults and there was no need to get in touch. I'm really upset that my mom tried to involve her in this situation. I can't help but wonder if she tried to create conflict between my Mill and my fiancé. Maybe she genuinely believes Mary and wanted to warn my Mill, but I guess that would be wishful thinking. For background, my Mill was a single mother because her ex-boyfriend, Dave's father, was unfaithful to her soon after giving birth. She also told her that Mary claimed that Dave was cheating on me. She then simply said, "My mom sounds like Mary's biggest supporter," and hung up. I guess my mom talked to Mary, who doubled down, and my mom decided to believe her because, as you might imagine, she despises disloyalty with a burning passion. I was expecting this to happen, but honestly, I'm disappointed. Not sad or angry or anything, just confused. I'm thinking of sending her one last text before cutting her off for now, but I'm not sure if I should give her the satisfaction of hearing an explanation. I'm on the fence about severing ties with her, primarily for my dad's sake. Their marriage is already rocky, and while he is considering divorcing her, I'm not sure if he will follow through. Keeping in touch with one parent while avoiding the other must cause a great deal of stress for the parent you're still in contact with, and I don't want to make things worse at home any further. It's wild how I've lost so many people I valued in such a short period. The situation also made me question other people, like my dad, a lot. There were many people in my life over the years, and no one ever said anything. I can't imagine that my grandparents, aunt, or family friends didn't know about any of it, but then again, I didn't either. I also don't know why I never realized that my mom harbored resentment toward me. I mean, I've lived with her under one roof for 18 years, and I've never noticed she does not like me. And yes, Reddit has become my new diary. Update 3. January 17, 2025. This will be a brief update because not much has happened, but I still want to share it because I find it ironic. It's also late at night, and I'm currently staying at a hotel, so I apologize if some of this doesn't make much sense. I had a gig tonight, and Mary's ex-boyfriend Julian showed up after the show. Yes, my ex-boyfriend approached me and informed me that he broke up with her this morning. He then received free drinks for the remainder of the evening, and I had a great time at the after party. LOL. I've already mentioned this in the comments, but I told mutual friends, not the people who criticized me, what happened between Mary and me. I suppose they told other mutual friends, and Julian, after some back and forth, asked her if my story was true. Mary became very defensive and called him an option that she's keeping around until Dave's single or she finds someone better. He ended the relationship right there, and Mary must have gone into a spiral after that. I don't believe in karma, but this made my day. I also called my grandparents, and they didn't know how my mom truly felt about me, which calmed me down. A little, because at least I wasn't the only one who didn't know. I suppose she did an impressive job of hiding her true feelings from my family. I've decided to go low contact with my mom and stay in touch with my dad, who, for several reasons, isn't going to divorce her anytime soon. I'm also still undecided about whether to cut her off entirely. I don't feel ready for that yet. I want to talk to my mom first so that I can hear what my dad has told me directly from her. However, at this time, I would rather not have that conversation, so I'm essentially keeping her around for now. Update 4, January 21, 2025. I'm not sure how to begin this, so Mary hasn't tried to get in touch with me again, but she has started sending me inappropriate videos of herself and Dave. There have been 3 so far, and they were all sent through different burner accounts. He hasn't responded to any of them, and we're not sure what we should do about it. She frequently sends videos like that, but usually only one person sends them at a time rather than 3, which makes it easier for them to ignore and block. He has deleted all of the videos she sent him and blocked her on every account she used to try to reach him. If he doesn't reply, he hopes she will stop soon, because it's getting frustrating to hear my former best friend bring up my fiancé's name repeatedly. I also met with my mom today. She texted me yesterday to ask me to meet, and she knows that Julian and Mary broke up and the reason why. I'm not sure how she got the story, but it seems like there was a strange mismatch between Julian and Mary. And Mary's mom. My mom was quite upset when she told me this, and it didn't make much sense. Mary told her this, Julian told her that, and so on. For whatever reason, I told my mom that Mary was interested in Dave the last time we met, and that fits Julian's story. I'm not sure why Julian told her, but I'd asked him to speak to my mom after some people suggested it in the comments, but he seemed hesitant, so I suppose he ended up telling her anyhow. Overall, she was truly apologetic for not believing me and supporting Mary, and she asked me if Mary had tried anything with Dave so far. I told her about the videos. She's angry with Mary and has blocked her number for now. She also wants to limit contact with Mary's mother, as far as I can tell, but she doesn't know how to go about it yet. They have many things in common, including hobbies and memberships in the same clubs, books, sports, and other typical late 50s mom stuff, so I guess everything is fine, but I'm still going to keep my distance from her. She seemed very sincere about wanting to make things right, and that we're on a better path, though it's not great yet. This may also be the last update unless a significant event occurs, but if everything remains the same, there isn't much to do right now.